hell has happened in the past couple weeks. Um, and then I think we get into the ULA, or the ULA 10 times reuse thing. Yep.
Okay, now my volume exists.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, here we go. Um hello chat. Let me switch down to I can't go down to super low latency. Okay. Well, um we're going as the title of the stream said, we're going to go over some old stuff regarding Thunderfoot arguments that we were wrong about.
Just one, but
Just one. Just there's only one. And then we're going to go over some of the very funny ULA infographics, just for the
well,
sake of it.
not their funny infographics. This is if you know the old report of 10 of like what was it 10 times reuse to break even.
Yep.
We're gonna be addressing that head on.
Yeah. That'll be fun.
I have its graph here. I mostly am figuring out how the math works on it. So
Mm-hmm.
um, I'm also eating right now.
Hey Max. Okay. Well,
All right.
if you have anything to send me, now would be the time so I can throw something on screen.
Yeah, I go into that Google Docs link or the Google Docs link I quickly sent.
Okay.
And go to resupply calculations.
Okay. So.
Now scroll over all the way to the side to the dragon cost comparison.
Okay. Here we go.
So this is CRS1 versus CRS2. Um, now I tried to make. Now originally the point is that there was about a 50% cost increase on
Okay. Here.
this.
Where's the dragon cost calculation again?
So you go resupply calculations and you scroll over all the way.
Okay. Cool. All the way. Okay. Here we go. Chat. This is what you should be looking at.
Yeah. So I know last time, or yeah, last time, maybe it was the time before. There was this whole okay, so you know, CRS2 supposedly increased the cost by 50%,
Mm-hmm.
compared to CRS1. Then I did this whole big reveal thing that basically showed that this wasn't true from the OIG report,
Mm-hmm.
which we're gonna have to bring up.
Yep.
Um,
If you will
I
send
have
me
the
OIG report.
sources over here, but I'm trying to figure it out. Where did I put it on here? Oh yeah, I did. If you let me just open it and then I'll send it to you real quickly.
Cool.
So it turned. I was really confused as to what was going wrong here. You know, they make a mistake. Did I make a mistake?
Yep.
I think I was still open to the possibility that I had made a mistake on this one, but
Mm-hmm.
it was definitely one of those things where I didn't have a good reasoning and wasn't able to figure it out.
Yeah.
And it turns out what what I had done is I hadn't read the fine text on the graph at the bottom of this well enough.
Mm-hmm.
If that's something where you want to go and check that out. Right now I see a rocket on stream if your KSP is loading.
Oh God. Ugh. Wrong. Horrible. Where that? You are just gonna go off stream. Go to the side. Never to return. Okay. Here we go. Let me get this OIG report.
Yeah. Just
Sorry for that the KSP was on screen. I'm trying to ensure. I'm trying to see if I can like break this graphics card kind of just to see if it's like still going to die or not on me. Okay, which page do I need to go
might
to?
be bad on stream. You'd be pretty close to the bottom. Appendix B, summary of NASA's commercial cargo and crew contract awards.
Okay.
This in the PDF, this is page 48.
Okay.
But
Here
it
we
might
go.
not be that
Right
labeling
here.
on the bottom. There we
Here.
go.
Okay.
Yes. So, what I had thought that the CRS2 costs were for this, is I thought these were the total costs for all the R&D and then the first 6 flights.
Mm-hmm.
That is not the case. Our first 6 flights are each provider. CRS-2 funding includes integration costs and 8 cargo missions, but does not include the additional 10 missions required to be purchased through the CRS-2 contract.
Huh.
So, I overestimated the number of missions with Dragon. Now, given that there's 8 missions, they do have to be split.
Mm-hmm.
We are probably, if I were to guess, it's probably a 3-3-2 split, maybe a 4-2-2 split.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's 3-3-2, that's probably Orbital getting 3, SpaceX getting 3, and Sierra Nevada getting 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And otherwise, I think it would be Orbital getting the 4 if it's a 4-2-2 split.
Mm-hmm.
But if we go back to the Shuttle Dragon cost comparison, this means I'm calculating payload for 6 missions instead of 3.
Yeah, yeah.
If you wanna wait, is
Here.
that up on stream?
I will. Here, I'll flip back. I'll flip back to it.
Latency. Yeah.
Here you go.
So what I'm gonna real quickly do is I'm just going to divide the total pressurized and unpressurized payload by half.
Ah.
And very quickly, you can see that it's
it is drastically more expensive.
It's more expensive, and especially if you're looking at this bottom column here, like depending on the category, anywhere from like 50%, 40%,
Okay.
90, 100% in there, depending on the comparison you're making. So yeah, that makes the math work.
So is this purely CRS, or does it include both Dragon and Cygnus? Or just Dragon independently, or is it all of CRS?
This is just Dragon. This is Dragon independently. I've not.
Cool.
Cygnus is not factored in.
Cool.
So they seem to have risen by that much. Do also note that this is taking into account all the integration costs, but only 3 of the flights.
Mm-hmm.
If I look at CRS-2, CRS-2 NASA commercial resupply services, phase 2. Currently, they have up to it started with CRS-21, and they have up to CRS-35 contracted.
Yeah. So it's probably, because this is an older report, the cost has also probably gone down a little bit.
Yeah.
I wouldn't imagine by much, just by virtue of it being a duopoly. There's probably not a lot that's gonna change pricing wise.
Yeah. Okay. So part of that is you're gonna have a high amount of integration costs offsetting the costs in this first set of flights.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think the report with SpaceX got like 45% of the was it 45% or 35% of the integration costs? It's maybe 40%.
Yeah.
They got like a high amount of the integration costs for this program. I think Sierra Nevada got an equivalent, maybe a little bit more, and Cygnus got very, very little.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm trying to look at the actual OIG report and find which where did they state the integration costs on this? Hold on. Control F. Integration. Okay. 700 million awarded in integration costs.
A lot of money.
So that's across the 3 spacecraft.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, CRS-2 integration cost. 10% were for orbital ATK pay 40% for 2 SpaceX configurations and the remaining 50% for 2 Sierra Nevada configurations. So yeah, SpaceX did get like 40% of the integration costs of 700 million.
A lot of money.
Yeah. So that's an offset of like how much?
No clue. It's like what, 40% of 300 million, like just like 300 million outright. Yeah, 330th.
330 million.
Yeah, 330 outright probably.
Yeah, probably like right around there.
Mm-hmm. That seems. I mean, that's like.
Yeah. So the later missions at 330 million is not going to factor in.
Do we have? Hold on. Do we have the data for like the through CRS-35 or whatever? Do we know how much those cost?
No clue.
Woohoo! Thanks.
Yeah, we're probably gonna have to wait till the program's over to actually get good information on this.
Isn't that annoying? Yeah, I bet the costs are still probably really high.
I wouldn't be shocked if they've lowered a little bit. I know with CRS-1 they did increase over time per mission, but that's because SpaceX underbid the initial contract.
Yep.
Now we're at the point where they would know the price to initially bid and then build the capsules, but now they're kind of in that, capsule reuse thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which we don't know. I'd wager it's probably similar. It's slightly more expensive than like Falcon reuse overall, probably.
Yeah. And of course Falcon reuse is going better now. So it's possible that contract extensions could be cheaper, and then of course, the main price would be inflated by like 330 mil because of the integration costs, which I don't think are included for the extensions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now we get into discussing which is cheapest for Zero Star. Actually, it might be cheaper if you are factoring in inflation. I'm gonna stay with that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I could see not factoring in inflation as being more expensive. And if you wanted to show the integration costs on stream, it would be on PDF page 19 on that final report.
Page 19, thank you. So graph or here we go. Here we go. Take a
CRS2 integration costs. You do have to scroll down slightly, but
yeah.
Just stay on that. No, you. Oh yeah, that works.
Okay. Is it like down here or just stay there?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's good enough. You
okay.
You can see everything.
Yeah.
On there.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Very interesting that there are options for stretched and unpressurized sickness, by the way. That's interesting. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. There is something else there is something else I was looking for. So, one of the things with the audit is it was trying to look at which one's the cheapest, which one's the most expensive, and it was calculated that of these three, Dragon 2 was the most expensive per flight, and Cygnus was the cheapest.
Yeah.
So first thing is, let me finish off this food. Got a couple bites left.
He's a hungry boy.
Yeah. Cygnus doesn't have down mass capability.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's a simpler vehicle due to that.
Mm-hmm.
So you could argue that Dragon's value is a little bit more worth it.
Yeah, you could argue that, and you could also argue that Dragon's trunk is also like hideously expensive, from what I understand. Like, I believe they have to straight up mill those solar panels into like the structure, which is also why HLS is moving away from that. So, yeah,
that's very fair.
Yeah, Dragon 1. Dragon 1 probably has a large cost advantage just because of that alone. I wouldn't imagine it's like responsible for all of it, but if it's such a significant design change that they moved away from it for HLS, which is like the the like most well-funded of well-funded one of those contracts, then yeah, probably it's not doing well.
Right, okay, so if you go to like page 41 and 42, um, this is where they're discussing the actual cost benefit. So, yeah, that is one of the things you have. You don't have down mass with, or you don't really have down mass with Cygnus. You do with Dragon.
Yep.
So then we get a comparison with Sierra Nevada, which initially it's like, okay, Nevada is the cheapest.
Yeah.
8 years fractional missions times each year per mission price plus one-time integration cost equals total evaluated proposal price.
Yep. Oh god, 1.5 missions per year. It's so Jover for Sierra. Please, guys, I want to see Dream Chaser fly more than that.
But one thing is, if you scroll down one chart from that, I mean, you can read what you want there.
Mm-hmm.
One of the interesting things that they note, the assumption of only two contractors in the RFP criteria. This will be on the next page.
Okay.
Would have influenced the total evaluated proposal prices, which were approximately 50% of the period or criteria for CRS2 rewards. For example, using the original RFP pricing criteria that assumes two contractors, the Source Evaluation Board found SpaceX's proposed prices were more expensive than Sierra Nevada and Orbital ATKs as illustrated in Table 2. However, when three contractors are considered, Sierra Nevada's total evaluated price becomes roughly the same as SpaceX because an adjusted flight rate of one mission per year for Sierra Nevada, as shown in Table 6, does not result in discounts on per-mission pricing.
Huh.
And here's the thing. SpaceX, I did check.
Mm-hmm.
They are achieving the 3 missions a year, not the 2 missions a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Sierra Nevada has not yet flown.
Yes.
So it's probably going to wind up with the, closer to the 1 mission a year.
Yeah, exactly.
Figure over the course of the entire contract.
Probably.
Yeah. Especially, I mean, it depends on when that thing first flies. If that first flies this year or next year, too.
Yeah, given that it got kicked all the way to Q4, I think it's probably not flying this year.
Yeah.
Which really fucking sucks. I wanted it to.
Hell, even if it flies, it's just a demo. The actual first operational mission would be the year after.
Yep. Which, again, sucks, because, like, it's a space plane. The primary advantage, one of the primary advantages, at least, is the fact that you just don't have to, like, you don't have to do everything involved. Hold on, give me a second.
Yeah.
So,
simply put, Dragon 2, at the end of this contract, may still wind up being the best for its value. It's definitely a lot closer of an argument than with CRS1, and I think I'd want to wait until the actual end report, like an audit at the end of this whole thing, or just something done at the end of this whole thing, some analysis done at the end of this whole thing to actually, be able to say that for certain, or say who wins for certain. But Dragon is not out of the race. And stuff with Cygnus also gets more convoluted now that it's launching on Falcon for a little bit. Because SpaceX is now involved in the Cygnus launches, and Orbital ATK has to cough up a new launcher.
Exactly. God, I hope that goes well for them.
Yeah.
Which I believe, isn't it scheduled for, like, next year? Isn't MLV scheduled for next year?
Yes. Oh god. Are they gonna make that?
I mean, they've only demonstrated an engine Miranda Hotfire so far, so yeah. I mean, okay, to be fair to them, they only have to make a first stage, which also becomes harder when you think about the fact that they're primarily using carbon composites in its construction.
Yeah.
Then yeah,
they might have to buy an extra Falcon launcher too.
I do not trust that MLV is going to come in on time. From what I've, like, just from looking at that just does not vibe with coming in under schedule.
It's rocketry. It's
Yeah.
rocketry. You don't trust that anything comes in on time,
Yeah.
especially like anything outside of China. You don't trust that it comes in on time. I think
Exactly.
China's pretty good about
Yeah,
giving
yeah, they've been
reasonable
pretty
dates.
good at. They actually do this. China does this really cool thing where they just like don't bullshit about their schedules. Um, it's pretty funny. And
Yeah.
it's also
Whereas like
terrifying when you look at it for more than 5 seconds. Because
yeah,
even when they announce their schedules, they're generally pretty accurate and they're pretty damn quick about it.
well, there are times where China will like beat their schedule
Mm-hmm.
too. Um.
Yeah.
So
Like
yeah,
publicly
but like
announced
anywhere
scheduling,
else.
by the way. Like that's
Yeah.
publicly announced schedule.
Yeah. But like anywhere else in the world just has these issues of not meeting schedules and there's so many people like, "Oh, Starship's so far behind schedule. These other ones wouldn't be." And it's like, "Do you even know this industry right now?"
Yeah.
Like
Please.
over the past decade, where's the evidence that any rocket doesn't wind up behind schedule by at least a couple of years?
Yeah, yeah. I think if you want an interesting comparison, um, Starship is like about matching Delta Four Heavy's schedule. If you if people like when people do that really dumb thing when they like count the first time they publicly mentioned Raptor or Starship as like the official beginning of the program, if you count
Yeah.
if you count that same standard for Delta 4 Heavy, Starship is literally like almost exactly on the same schedule, which is just funny.
Okay. Sorry, got a cough. I think I got like a piece of rice in my throat.
Nice. Ugh. Okay.
Okay. So, do we want to? Okay. Stuff which happened during the past week. Last Delta 4 Heavy flew.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Go buy my poster. I made a poster of that. Please go buy it.
Falcon 9 hit 20 flights.
Yep.
Get
Single booster,
show your
baby.
poster for that one too.
Yeah, go buy the Falcon 9 poster. Unironically, I think it is the best poster we ever made. Go to perigeaero.com dot perigeaero.com/shop. Go look at Falcon 9 poster. Buy it. Please buy it. Please buy it as soon as possible, even though the like 5 people watching this probably already have. Buy it again. All right. Um yeah, keep going.
Um. So, okay. Oh god. Yeah. Those two things both happened, and on Space Twitter, we got to partake in a regular shitting on Thunderfoot again.
Yes, very regular, very scheduled.
Yeah. Um.
Healthy for any growing boy.
So he's doing the whole, Soyuz things and like the whole program cost for Starship thing. Hold on, I've got his stuff. I've got his tweets and replies
He put
pulled
out a
up.
tweet. He put out a tweet saying, "What was I ever that wrong about?" And I'm not even kidding. I had a 500-word response like typed up, ready to go. But I was very kind and I did not unleash my anger at
That's what this
Thunderfoot.
live stream's for.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Um,
This is where I can tell Thunderfoot that he's stupid and he should feel bad about himself.
so I'm just gonna start sending you the some of the tweets in Discord here.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Alrighty.
so that's a little earlier.
Ugh. Okay. Here we go. Let's get this up on screen, baby. Ugh, and it's not going on the screen. There we go. Well, Musk says Starship is costing about 2 billion a year and they're making about 2 per year. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. Likewise, NASA is paying more to SpaceX with its cheap reusable tech than it did for Soviet era designed by slide rule disposable rockets. You know who Thunderfoot really reminds me of?
Ooh.
Pierre Spray.
Yeah, yeah. I have made that exact comparison before.
Yeah, I'm sorry, paying to SpaceX with its reusable cheap tech. Okay, it's not really that like SpaceX's prices are high because they're like compensating for horrible things happening inside. No, 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 no. No. SpaceX prices are low because the entire rest of the industry has a massive gaping skill issue and no one is challenging them on price.
Yeah, and that last portion, what he's referring to is Falcon 9 crew capability
Mhm.
compared to a single decade of Soyuz's existence.
Single
So
decade of
Soyuz from
Soyuz.
about like 2000, 2001-ish to 2011.
Immediate like
It,
post Soviet
yeah,
USSR.
yeah.
So post sorry
There's
post Soviet Russia. Yeah, no, not a good era. Not a good
yeah,
era.
there's one time there's like it's not an awful era. That's like last 10 years of the shuttle era. If you
Yeah.
adjust it for inflation, Soyuz is cheaper per seat at that point in time than Falcon 9 is today, and
Hmm.
Soyuz is not cheaper today than Falcon 9 is today.
Yep.
Um
Oh, this one. Oh, great, great. Another one
yeah.
from Thunderfoot here.
We're
So
just gonna go through so many of these. There's so
yeah.
many in the
So
past.
that's what $2 billion of taxpayer money looks like. Even after spending all that taxpayer money, I like how he keeps like saying taxpayer money, like SpaceX, like they are not funding this. Like no, SpaceX is funding this. SpaceX like they're okay. The subtle subtext of the HLS bid is that SpaceX was willing to pay for a large part of its development. So that was also a pretty big factor. Obviously, like as stated by NASA multiple times, and the fact that both other bids sucked. I'm not even kidding. How the actual hell did they design two awful bids and have Starship win? Like, of course, like yeah, they claimed so did like got any news on the Artemis 3 SLS? Where's that one? Like yeah, it's delayed. Everything's delayed. I
Okay.
don't know why you're confused about this.
Yeah. Let's go back just a little bit in time.
Yeah.
Um, to this one.
Oh,
So
here.
this is basically that whole argument.
Yes.
So first of all, you can see the Musk currently charges U.S. government 90 million per seat in 2024.
Jesus Christ.
Um, which is not not correct as far as I'm aware,
Yeah.
unless you do like a whole maybe if you do like a program cost analysis, it hits that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, but that's false. It's about what it's like 55 million assessed per seat, and then some extra for cargo.
Yeah. I
Um,
think you hold on. I think you mistook Russia price gouging America for a free market price. Dude, have you seen SpaceX's price gouging? Like it's insane. Dude, they're launching at $67 million. If you think SpaceX is still like internally at even $30 million, no. Like it's insane. You're not no. What are you talking about? What are you talking? Of course it's price gouging. There are literally no competitors.
so let's
There are
also
literally no
yeah,
competitors.
okay. So one of the very interesting points is that Thunderfoot is accusing Russia price gouging the U.S. market
Yes.
after that time period, and then saying that free market price was one quarter of that. Like
Remarket.
free market price is still one quarter of that. We can click on that space tourism article. The Wikipedia article. I have sent it to you.
Okay, let's get that. Let's get that
And
open then.
I'm needing to check the source. Okay. Um, I'm needing to check if this is actually on that source or if it is on something else.
Ugh.
This would be so. This is something with Izaka Mezawa, which is
Yeah.
literally the image on the front of this article. I'm trying to remember where is the cost for this.
Ugh.
Is a I'm trying to remember if it's on this page. I think it's somewhere else. Hold on.
Mhm.
Okay, I don't have the exact source. I have the tweet that I immediately posted under that.
Yeah.
which does list a statement on that.
Okay, let me see. Uh, yep, 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 yep.
So actually, hold on. Wait, did he pay 80 million per seat or 80 million on the total thing? Because if that's him and his producer, that might be 40 mil per seat actually.
Yeah,
So maybe it is.
yeah. No,
That's
the thing
80.
is,
If that's 80 mil per seat though, that's bad. Like
no,
that's
it's probably not. So
okay.
Soyuz is
Okay,
90 million.
I screwed it up then. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So
Soyuz is
here's the thing.
a little cheaper.
Um, the seat to the ISS cost
Shit, I
on
misread that.
Apollo era Soviet rocket. Jesus Christ, Soyuz in the current era is not the same Soyuz as it was. No, horrible. No. um,
Okay, I
Dragon
thought it was
seats.
80 mil per seat.
Yeah,
I was apparently wrong. It's 80 mil in total, so that would still be cheaper. Okay, I
yeah.
guess he has
So,
a point that if your Soyuz isn't upcharging the U.S. government, it's probably around the same price, a little more
oh
expensive
no no no
for
no no
flight
no no
like
no
that.
no. It's not. It's not that. The thing is, the cost to the ISS.
Ye-
BSF is right. The cost to the ISS itself is much higher than this. The difference is this is not. This is Space Adventures. Space Adventures is its own company. This is not um, specifically Roscosmos. They sell at a much lower margin than they do for the ISS project because they can, like again, they can price
Yeah,
gouge the ISS to all hell. The thing
we
is,
can't with this.
yeah, the thing is, Thunderfoot. What Thunderfoot is saying is he's doing a
Yeah,
thing here, and
I
he's
know.
comparing.
Hold up.
He's
I know
saying
for
that the
sure.
dragon price and so what he's done is he has like two categories here. He is the amount that they're being sold for, and well, sold for to the government and sold for privately. So dragon missions are like dragon missions are like I don't know, 50, 55 million a seat or something to 250 million. That sounds about right. However, Inspiration 4 and I think Polaris 1 have both been stated to come out to be around 160 million, which if you look at what's involved in Polaris Dawn and Inspiration 4, the thing is those were both significantly more advanced and required much more development than the average ISS flight.
Yeah.
Um, if you look at
Yeah,
Inspiration
SpaceX
4,
tourism prices would be kind of in that same ballpark.
mm-hmm,
And
yeah,
I'm still he's saying that the reports that he spent more than 80 million were pretty much accurate. So
yeah,
it's above that. It's a little
yeah,
bit above that,
yeah,
apparently. Um
probably reasonable.
the question is that per seat, is that not per seat? It
I
doesn't
do
sound
not.
like
I
it's
think
per
it is
seat.
better to assume that that is the whole mission total and not per seat, because he would not. He would not be paying.
Yeah,
I
that would
do
be
not
like
think. I do not think Miyazawa is informed enough on the economics of space policy to discern whether is something per seat or not.
current market price are 50 to 60 million.
Because he would have been the one paying for it.
Yeah.
So he would have still said like 80 million. No, no, no. I paid way more than that. So yeah, if you look it up, then
Yeah.
if you average Polaris Dawn and this, they actually come out to the exact same 40 million
Yeah, that is
price.
true.
Which, if you think about it, also makes sense from a market perspective of neither one is going to directly undercut the other.
Yeah. So if you're going from the space tourist perspective, like SpaceX is probably at about the same price as Soyuz is today.
Yep.
Or they're very much, it's roughly equivalent.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I think I did make this argument the previous time. Dragon is undersized for Falcon 9. Falcon 9 is RTLSing with
Yeah.
Dragon.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, the reuse economics of RTLS are a lot more questionable than the reuse economics of autonomous drone ship landings.
Yeah.
Um, on value per payload basis. So
Mm-hmm.
the fact that they're doing that with Dragon means that Dragon's undersized, and Dragon doesn't have some of its seats available that it should.
The
So
other thing to notice is that Dragon was originally designed for a crew capacity of 7.
yes,
However,
it is
um,
stuck at 4.
eh, no, it's not stuck at 4, kind of. The thing is, it was originally designed to carry 7. However, it was designed, okay, it was designed to carry 7 when it was designed to land propulsively. And the thing is, shoots scale exponentially, I believe. And you need much bigger shoots to like handle the giant load that you'd be experiencing with 7 people. So it just gets more and more like and
Well, the
then
thing is,
thrown off.
they would normally have some payload in those spots, some extra down mass. So that's not.
Yes. Well, it's not.
I don't think that's the issue. I think it's the bottom 3 seats don't rotate. That would be the problem.
I'm gonna
So,
pull out a trust me bro card here.
okay. Okay. Fair.
I
Fair.
just
That's the
I
way this
nothing 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 against you. I just gotta pull out the trust me bro card.
Yeah, I have heard I've heard differently.
Okay.
But I've heard I think my trust me bro, I've heard safety for the lower
Yeah.
3 seats is a key.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, that's about the same with what I'd heard, yeah.
Yeah. Um
Okay. What is
so
next
there
for our
are
dear foot?
more tweets. We got the whole
Oh boy.
argument with Aaron too.
Oh god. Oh lord.
We get into
Funny British
Starlink.
gym man. Funny British gym man. I love him. Okay.
Um
Okay. Here we
ping
go.
him, say that hey, we're talking about this argument if you want to like.
Uh, bro. Okay. Here. It's okay. Here. Oh, this is another horrible one.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah, this is where we get into the fun part.
Okay. Um in 2023 they put 80% of the global percent of mass to orbit. The other world governments 20%. Starlink is still a money burning furnace.
There we go.
No. So
Yeah.
if he's referring to that piece that was put out by WAPO, not
Yeah,
WAPO.
that was he
Sorry,
was
Bloomberg.
not.
Bloomberg.
He's not. This is a couple days before that piece.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm
So
gonna
he has not referred to that piece.
I'm gonna get the Bloomberg piece out of the way first. Um, they have it in the article. They explicitly say that they're relying on 2018
March.
2019 statements, and it's been 4 years. So if you want to know anything about that piece and what you should take away from it, you should take away with it that Falcon 9 is rapidly increasing its cadence because Starlink needs more satellites. And that's the only thing you should take away because that piece is 90% just horrible bullshit.
I am now sending you like 5 tweets in quick succession.
Okay, all right.
In quick succession.
If you believe Musk, Starship was supposed to say, "Oh God, fucking hell."
Actually, do we
No
want to
name.
bring up the Bloomberg article?
Hold on. I need to rant about this because Spitter has been giving me brain worms about this stuff. Okay. Yeah. The current generation of Starship prototypes is not meant to be optimized for mass. You can tell this because when they came to the realization that Booster 10 needed additional robustness upgrades, over Booster 9, you know what they did? You know what they did? They got giant metal internal slosh baffles and they welded them on. Those things are inches thick and they're huge. Like they have to be jutting inside the tank. That should be your first indication that they currently do not care about the mass of the solution. They care much more about it getting to space and demonstrating what needs to be done. If you look at why did they fly S-25? Well, they flew S-25 because S-25, again, S-24 and 25 were very well known to be overmass. And, like, why do they fly them? Because the data that they are getting on the overall systems testing is much more important than payload to orbit. If you want to watch Starship, there will be many more mass-centric focuses coming up. But, like, now? No. The priority is absolutely not mass to orbit, because you can optimize for mass to orbit when everything else is okay. Now, if you want to go with a fair criticism, which I'm sure he doesn't, Starship's 100 plus ton to orbit. The final V2 config is 100 plus tons to orbit, and it does have a slight bump in fuel capacity. However, that bump in fuel capacity would not take it significantly over what it has now, which strikes me more as just, yeah, we're adding more to this rather than mass is a horrible, unsolvable problem. Yeah.
Didn't they also underfuel it slightly?
Yes, they also ridiculously underfueled it, but
Um,
like,
I'm curious
good
if
God.
that's being actually taken into the account or not. If it's
I can 100% tell you that it's not being taken into account because
oh,
he said an IFT-3 style ship, I believe, which does not explicitly mention IFT-3. Starship's payload currently is he is probably very right in that it's about, like, what is it? What do you say, like 50 plus
50 ton?
tons?
Yeah,
Yeah,
50
that's probably not wrong, and I think it would be better for us all to realize, yes, that's the reason why. Because this generation is not focused on fucking with mass. Wow, that's incredible. It would take you 5 seconds to be normal and realize that, but no, we cannot be normal. We cannot have nice things. But yeah, no, that's just my take. That is my take. My take is also that when Spitter starts being really dumb, you are legally obligated to log off for your sanity.
Yeah. Okay, so you got like four more here, all in a row.
Awesome.
Um, whole conversation. We got a good one to
Woo!
end on. Ah, great. Yeah, good, yeah, very good point. That you know, the current models of Starship are probably, not
God,
optimized.
I love Aaron's profile picture.
Oh God.
Big British gym man, tiny tiny anime girl. Why? I don't know, but he does it, and I'm happy for him. Okay. um Profitable means that it makes more money than it loses. I'm going to correct Aaron here. Profitable means that it is net positive. It has brought in more revenue than total expenses, debt, etc.
Yeah, that
Um,
gets into a weird category then, because
yeah.
Starlink would be
So
cash flow positive, but not necessarily
Starlink
profitable at the moment.
Starlink is cash flow positive. Starlink is not profitable. It also should be noted that Starlink is not completely profitable yet. That it does not mean SpaceX is not profitable as a whole. SpaceX as a whole is probably not profitable, by the way. But Starlink
Falcon
itself.
9 program. Falcon 9 program is
Oh
probably
yeah, no,
profitable
sorry,
overall.
sorry. Falcon 9 program. Falcon 9 program probably makes up a significant amount of
Yeah.
funding for Starlink launches themselves. Um, but yeah, no. No longer incurring losses means that they are no longer making a loss. I heard a rumor. He's incredibly right about this. I heard a rumor that the first Starlink dish cost somewhere around like $3,000 to make, and they sold it at like $500. And reportedly, that's no longer a problem at all. But like, yeah, when you think about that, yeah, they're not profitable yet. No wonder they probably have a lot of sales to make up on.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair though, that would be something where if they keep that dish in service for what would that be, 3 years ish,
Yeah, they'd be
make a
fine.
profit on that,
Yeah,
or
they.
the profit on the dish. Which actually that would be the case now, wouldn't it? It
Mm-hmm.
would be about the case. It'd be
Yes,
either that or
correct.
approaching that.
Yep.
Um, yeah. Um, oh, what was I?
All good.
Yeah,
Take
what
your
was I gonna say? But
time.
whether it's cash flow positive or negative is what's really important with Starlink.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because unlike say Tesla, which goes through a lot of like ups and downs
Mm-hmm.
over its over its history, um, Starlink is a recurring business model.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is a
Um,
subscription service.
yeah. So if that's something where you can look at the where if that's something where it's cash flow positive, it's gonna stay that way
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah,
probably get better.
probably it will most likely remain that way for a long, long time,
Yeah,
unless they literally just start. I don't know. If Starlink starts funding, I don't know, like a genocide or something,
yeah,
then maybe that'll become less profitable.
yeah.
But like,
If yeah, they'd have to
yeah,
start hemorrhaging customers in order to actually have an issue, and it does not seem like they're doing that.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
so yeah, basically that means that Starlink will become profitable,
Mm-hmm.
based on current trends, um, which is not, which is not a guarantee just by keeping other stuff going.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but Starlink, given how that economic model works, that would be
Yeah.
it. So
Starlink is not the part of SpaceX I'd be questioning.
yeah. So you got a couple more there, in a chain, and we got a good one to end on.
Okay. Beautiful.
Where
Let's get this bread. Okay. Starlink became profitable I believe, but those for still no longer incurring losses on making the antenna.
yeah,
Um
yeah,
then literally the next sentence. SpaceX did manage to turn a profit in the first quarter of 2023. Where's that song? I wonder how,
where does
I
it say
wonder
Starlink is
why.
profitable?
Yeah,
But,
exactly.
here's the thing. The only way to make that work is if Starlink's close. Because
Yeah.
otherwise, you are having to justify Falcon 9 launch costs covering both the R&D expenses of the Starship program and
Mhm.
the major losses of the Starlink program.
Exactly.
That is really
Exactly.
difficult to do.
Yeah.
Um,
How the hell would you do that? You
yeah,
don't. Especially when Starlink launches. Like Thunderfoot said, they make up. Okay, SpaceX's Starlink launches, making up a majority of their launches, is something that actually works again against Thunderfoot instead of for him. Because if you look at it, oh wow, there are a lot of people who are tuning into Starlink. Oh my god, then that it has to be for Falcon 9 to be able to pay for all those Starlink launches. This goes back to his thing. You're either incredibly wrong because I've seen those debt funding rounds, right? We all know how much money was in them. It would not pay for all of these launches unless SpaceX was going complete. Like SpaceX would have to be so either that SpaceX is either the biggest bubble in the history of ever, or they're just kind of fine economically, and it's really not that big of a problem.
yeah. I know Little Blue recently was actually looking at, when the SpaceX funding rounds occurred,
Mhm.
they stopped
Yeah,
in 2023. Like
yeah,
SpaceX has not been getting funding rounds like for pretty much the entire, I think it is actually technically the entirety of 2023.
yeah.
Um there's one which is stated as January 2nd,
Hmm.
2023, and that's the most recent one.
Yeah.
But I think that one was actually done in December.
And also, I'd like to just say this: a SpaceX bringing in more funding rounds doesn't mean that they're just burning VC capital anyway. It could just be, hey, give us money and we'll get you a lot more money. Like, it could
Yeah.
also be
I'll
a good
not
investment, right? Like
Um,
things are not always worst case.
hold on. I actually have the tweet here. You're gonna or Little Blue's tweet there if you wanna see that.
Sure.
Seeing
Oh
the
god.
funding round.
Here, let me copy the link on this.
Brown name convention. Oh, there's one in October 6th, 2023, but it's just debt.
Okay. Here we go. Yeah. Um yeah,
Yep.
there's
It just
there's really not that much.
the funding that they're getting just kind of stopped.
Yeah.
Hold on, they're only get 9.8 mil too. I mean, I guess 2022 ones could probably support a good number of launches. Oh, that 1.7 billion. Yeah, okay. The ones in 2022 could
Let's
um
see. Okay, 1.72 billion. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
the ones in 2022 could support a number of launches.
Yeah.
They just stopped.
Mhm.
They just stop right there. They're not getting those anymore, or they're not doing
Yeah.
those anymore.
They're not doing as many of them anymore because there's probably going to be like one or two this year, but I'd expect it to slowly start tapering off.
Well, you would say slowly start tapering off, but we haven't seen one for the past 16 months.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
That's true. That's
that's
true.
January 2023.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. In terms of funding rounds, you still have a couple, you still have a handful of that thread to get to, and the final one at the end, which is the fun one.
Awesome.
That's the
Okay.
one which I actually want to discuss here.
Okay. Cool. Copy link, gentlemen. All right, here's another source for you 2 months after, which corroborates the idea that it's profitable now as its total cash flow was break even nearly half a year ago. Jeez. Cope. Do the simple macroscopic calcs. Buzzword alert! They ain't hard. How many rocket launches? How many customers? Fun fact. Fun fact. Did you know that SpaceX has not reduced its prices since it started reusing rockets? I wonder if they're just making giga profit. Like,
I, I will be honest. I am very skeptical that at the original price of the Falcon, or at that original like 62 million price, I am skeptical that they were making profits on that before reuse.
mm-hmm.
Um, I think there is a very very real chance that they weren't doing that, and I think the 62 million also meant doing a recovery, or at least
Mm-hmm.
attempting a recovery back in the
Yeah,
early
yeah,
days.
yeah.
So a lot of those early flights being charged for that much were with a recovery in mind. Were with something like that or something of that sort.
Okay, cool. Okay, so, um, here we go. Uh, God. Did you miss the Yeah, did you miss the second part I highlighted in very clear yellow? Uh God, that's there and I know and love. Okay. Um Here we go. Cash flow positive is by definition profit. It means that you are getting more cash, you are spreading an influx of money at profit. As for the rest of what you piped in, I'm not calmly debating a guy who just says, "Cope, don't do the maths," and then doesn't do the maths himself. No, I did the maths. Starlink launches over customers. Dot 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 dot. He put in 4 dots, so that's how you know he's serious. Network lifespan. Starlink is losing money. This only Okay, so here I'm gonna pull up the Google calculator. Okay. Ready? Alright. You know what I think he's doing? I think he's straight up just doing this. Okay, how many Starship? Let's just go with 60, right? 60
No,
launches
it's
of
12.
Starlink last year, okay? That's
Okay.
60? Okay, times 67 million because obviously SpaceX would never be making a profit. Oh my god, they spent 4.2 billion dollars on launches last year. Oh my god, it's so over. It's
Yeah,
so
it
over for
would not shock me
SpaceX.
if he's doing something like that, or maybe if he is factoring in some profit and he's
Yeah,
thinking that it's like 30, 40 million in
yes.
turnover.
What I'm 100% now, obviously, I 100% honest. This is a straw man. If you think I'm being serious about how I think he's doing his analysis, what I think he's doing, in all honesty, is I think he is either using just straight up using 67 million a launch.
Let's get to the end because I think
Oh
one of
god.
these will provide some context on that.
Oh god. Okay.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
shoot. Wait. Darn it. Why does it do that? Okay. Uh, here. I could hypothetically hand Thunderfoot the documents himself and he'd say it was hogwash because Elon's name on it. Oh no, Elon said it has to be true. Enjoying your ride on the Washington to Baltimore Hyperloop.
Of course.
This man has an obsession with Hyperloop. I think even Musk said that it was partially to screw over California high-speed rail, right?
Yeah. Not
You
a
are
good
not.
thing. Like,
Yeah, yeah, like oh no, hold on.
yeah.
You're telling me the billionaire is greedy?
Yeah,
Oh my god. My
like
entire worldview.
uh,
Oh, it's changing.
that's the thing is we acknowledge that Musk is an awful person.
Yeah,
Um,
he's not the greatest guy out
yeah.
there. I
Um,
yeah, I
we're
cannot speculate directly on the state of that man's soul. However, what he says, yeah, he's
yeah.
not the greatest fella out
Yeah.
there.
Like the I would say the important discussion around revolves around how or to what degree of bad he is.
Yes.
Like that's the main discussion I will have about this man.
The thing
Is
is, like,
do I think
just
he's old? Do I think he's like Hitler? Maybe not Hitler bad. That's really excessive. But if I was putting it in the like Nazi Germany context, or
yes.
if I was putting in like a Nazi Germany context, which is very excessive for this, understand?
Yeah.
Um,
Argumentum
we're
ad
using like the whole
Rudolphum.
internet rule around this.
Yeah.
Is he like one of the lead members of the Nazi party, or like
Yeah.
very associated with them? Well, okay, he'd probably be very associated with them. But is he like one of the
Yeah.
lead members and approving of what they do, or is he just like some centrist schmuck who would vote for them over the communists?
Yeah.
Um,
Exactly. Okay. Well, fantastic brain rot, Thunderfoot. Okay. Here, this is the final one. Cool. So regular internet is $50 a month. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
now you're seeing reason.
You've never dealt with Comcast, have you, Thunderfoot? Okay. Uh
Oh God!
uh
Oh, I'm on Comcast. Oh no!
okay.
Oh,
You
Comcast
have to
fucking
make
sucks.
you have so you have 150 million a month to launch 4 rockets and pay for the satellites. 37 million to make the satellites and launch them. Let's see. Let's see if 37 million to make the satellites might actually be reasonable. I'm not sure. Okay. So 37 1 2 3 1 2 3 and then divide it by what the 23 in the average stack. That comes out to oh my god, 1.6 million to a satellite. I don't
That's
think
too
that's
much.
reasonable. Yeah,
That's
no, that's
too
not
much.
reasonable.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, he means for all of them. He means for all of them total. Hold on.
No, hold on. No, I think what the math here is doing is he's saying that the I think what he's saying is that the standard internet from the ground station is probably costing SpaceX $50 a month per customer to handle the data, and
I
then
don't
is
think
estimating
so.
that the rest of it's about 50, or taking about half of that cost, or taking
Hold
about
on.
half of that
Wait.
revenue
Oh,
away. So
wait.
he's
Hold on.
saying that
Hold on. Hold on. No,
Other
actually,
half of the revenue
the thing is,
has
the
to be
only
free.
number he gets right in this whole thing is the 37 million for 4 launches, because that's about 400K a satellite, and from what we've heard externally, that sounds reasonable. However, what he's wrong about is 150 million a month to launch 4 rockets.
Well, first of all,
No,
it's 7
no.
rockets. As of last month, it's 7
It was
rockets.
8 last month.
It's 7. It's 7. I
Oh, it
checked.
is just full.
It's
Oh,
7.
okay.
There was the thing is, if you go by a standard ratio, it would have been 8, like of what was it, 60, 70-ish percent.
Yeah.
But they were actually a little bit more on the customer side
Huh.
that month. So I had
Interesting.
initially said 8, and then I realized it was 7.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I brought up my Starlink calculator version
Mhm.
2,
Yeah.
and I've now added a second. I've kept the price per dish sold and cost per dish, 1500 and 500.
Mhm.
Um, and I did send you a link to this, and a time to break even of 10 years. So I can
Okay.
play around with these numbers a lot.
Mhm.
Now, the thing is, at a price a service per month of, you know, 50,
Mhm.
$50, it's very, very difficult to make the costs work. So I'll say
Yes.
250 or 250,000 per satellite, 12 million
Mhm.
launch cost. It would just be squeaking by.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be enough to be profitable break even after 10. It would be enough to eventually
Yeah.
um
But they don't
break
sell
even.
them. They don't just
Yeah.
sell. The thing is, they don't just sell them for
Oh, that would be.
50,
Oh, hold on. That's for a
50 bucks
satellite
a month.
constellation of. Oh, yeah, no. That would be for a satellite constellation of 9,000, which I've estimated it at a lifespan of 5 years.
Mhm.
That would be sustained by a launch rate of about 7 Falcon 9s. I did 22 per launch.
Yeah.
Just be like, okay, let's just compensate for failures a little bit. The issue is the $50 a month. So first
Yeah.
of all, in the original tweet, the guy says 110.
Mhm.
So that I should first of all change that to $60 a month.
Yeah.
Um, which again isn't changing the numbers that much.
Mhm.
You can bring up the launch cost a little bit. You can probably bring up the satellite cost a little bit too
Mhm.
and stay below. But you're still within a pretty tight margin.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
but there are multiple things that he has failed to consider in regards to the price of service per month.
Mhm.
First of all, if that $50 is corresponding to like European internet, which I've
Yeah.
heard some people say that's about what it is for them. If that's you know, what was I gonna say? Like for an individual provider, if they're handling bulk data, it's probably going to be a little cheaper than that.
Yeah.
And SpaceX offers higher tiers than the 110, $120 a month.
Mhm. Yes.
Um,
Exactly.
the business deals, like some of those are
Oh yeah,
what,
those are
like
massive
thousands.
amounts of money.
So let's say we bring the average up to like 80 a month.
Mhm.
Well, suddenly I can use cost per Starlink satellite, let's say 400,000, and a launch cost of let's say 18 million, and we're still below the figure. We're
Mhm.
still at the point where Starlink should be making a small profit.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um,
Exactly.
so I guess what I'm saying is at you know if you're bringing up those costs just a little bit, not being super pessimistic on the actual cost of it, Starlink should be, well, cash flow positive, profitable in
Yeah.
the long term.
Mhm.
um okay, I guess profitable over a period of time, over a short
Yes.
period of time.
Yes.
um but not over the course of the whole program. They still have past a lot of past debts to make up from the
Mhm. Yes, they do.
20. Yeah, a lot of past debts to make up, but they should be making money right now. And if they're past that point of break even, then yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
they're gonna make money.
yeah. So we also have that Bloomberg article,
Mhm.
which came out just after this.
Ugh, God. Yes.
Um, so
The
I don't know how you want.
Bloomberg article.
I don't know specifically how you want to handle this one.
Okay.
Um,
So I'm gonna go through it quickly and then we can talk about it after.
yeah.
So, okay. If you ignore all the annoying things here, okay. Often strips out the hefty cost of sending its satellites into space to make the non-public numbers look better to investors. Yeah, okay, fine. That's business. Business is being scummy. Okay. Um. Okay. So, but people with knowledge of Starlink's balance sheet said that money-making quarters have been less constant than Musk suggested to investors. Then when he celebrated having break-even cash flow. Okay, that's fine. The thing is,
Do we want to get into the end, or do we
yes.
want to discuss it?
I'm just gonna get to the end. Okay, Starlink is something launch costs. Speeds began to decrease in 2022. However, again, this went up. 2022. Again, 2022 is mentioned a lot here. However, um, towards the end of 2023, said that they had improved their finances and now it is consistently profitable, more consistently profitable. Yep, that
Yep.
this yep.
Um.
There you go. That's the
So
end. It
yeah,
fucks around with 2022 numbers a lot back there,
yeah.
and then it just outright says, "Oh yeah, they're by the way, everyone
Here's the thing.
people think they're profitable now internally."
I could see it fucking around with early 2023 numbers. So like quarter
Mm-hmm.
one, quarter two,
Yeah.
maybe quarter three, but that's a little questionable. What this is basically, or I feel like people are going to take this out and say, "Oh, Starlink's profits are questionable," when
Yeah.
what this is saying is Starlink was unprofitable in 2022 and didn't become break even until late 2023.
Yes.
And now it's cash flow positive, I guess profitable if you look at a short-term time span.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. That's like the same meaning.
Yeah.
Um, there's a lot of 2022 in there, and there's a lot of stuff mentioning before Musk said it was break even.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Exactly.
so yeah, I just wanted to bring this up. What this supports is that space or that Starlink went break even late last year and is probably and is now probably making them a small amount of money,
Yes.
um, which will continue to grow.
Yep. Good conclusion from it.
Yep.
This Bloomberg article was a gigantic nothing burger,
Yeah.
if you're looking at it
Yeah,
seriously.
and
Other
I
things,
think people are going to take it out of context. The
yeah,
thing is, that matches with everything else. It matches with Musk's
yeah,
statement in November. It matches with the leaked financials from April.
yeah, yeah,
If Starlink is almost break even, but not quite in April, and goes break even in November, it fits everything that's stated in this article perfectly.
yep,
Like all of it just fits together.
mm-hmm, yep.
Okay then.
Starlink has had more success signing up corporate clients in rural and maritime areas where capacity issues didn't overwhelm the citizens immediately. Carnival Cruise, Deere & Co., and English Ship Management Limited, they said it's suddenly like getting running water. Spends about $2,700 per vessel for Starlink and $1,000 a month for internet service. That's a lot. That is a lot for Starlink, and it's significantly less than Viasat, which is funny.
Yeah. Where is? Okay, I'm now trying to find in my bookmarks folder. I know I bookmarked this. Uh, the link to the Oh yeah, the reuse business case.
Oh God,
It's time.
it's time.
So, it's time, I think.
Oh boy.
Fine. Let's move on from Starlink.
Okay.
Um, I have sent you the NASA spaceflight thread where you can download both of the things, the Excel file and the explanation PDF. Although I think I've seen you have or take pictures from the explanation PDF.
Yes. Here we go.
Um, and you
Open.
can also,
Oh
show
boy.
stuff from the thread.
Oh
This
god.
So, you know how ULA has gone on about how, reuse needs reuse needs to happen 10 times for the business
Yes.
case to work? This is George Sowers posting what I believe is that study, or at the very least a version of that study, based on
Yeah.
what else is suggested in the thread. If you,
Yeah.
We're probably going to want to look through the thread at a few points.
Yep.
Which is going over that. And George Sowers, just to look this guy up, George Sowers, ULA,
Mm-hmm.
Colorado School of Mines. George Sowers has 30 years of experience in the space transportation field, during a continuous span working for Martin Marietta, Lockheed Martin, and the United Launch Alliance, including a stint as the chief systems engineer for Atlas V development. Helped develop more than a dozen launch systems. He recently retired from his position as a vice president and chief scientist of ULA, where his team developed an architecture. Oh, Venus is leaving. Sorry,
Bye-bye.
it's me talking rather than Peregrine. Where his team
Oh good.
developed an architecture for fully reusable in-space stages fueled by propellant mined, refined, and distributed in space. He holds a bachelor's degree from
Oh wait,
Virginia.
this was the
From
hold on, this was the dude partially behind Aces? Jesus,
Ye-
that's sad. Okay.
Yep. Um. So he's a fellow of the American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics, and that is what I basically just read that from.
Mm-hmm.
This is the guy who posted this on the NASA spaceflight thing. So this isn't just like a random forum user posting it, is what I'm trying to make out.
Yeah.
This this guy's at the time he's posting this in 2015. He's pretty high up in ULA.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Yeah.
probably where Tory Bruno's actually like getting that report from. This is probably the report, or at the very least, it is a dialed back version of the report.
Yeah.
He does seem to suggest that there is a second alternate version that
Mm-hmm.
has more detail to it.
Yeah.
Um, and the Excel file's probably the more interesting one of the two.
Yeah, okay.
Um,
I'll get that up then.
because the explanation's just kind of going over the methodology and math
Mm-hmm.
involved.
Yeah. So the
Um,
thing is,
and I have both downloaded, so
okay. PEPR is the performance of the reusable system, expendable, and reusable systems, respectively.
yeah. Like,
This is a terrible way to compare performance. Because PE over PR. The thing is that yeah, that's fine, but that fundamentally assumes that cost um cost per kilogram is inherently tied in to the profitability of your rocket, which is not
yeah,
true.
it's not great, but there is a bigger flaw, in my opinion,
Oh god.
with the approach. And you do have to look at the you do kind of have
Spreadsheet,
to
let's crack
look at
that
the
bad boy open.
Excel document. You have to look at the Excel document to figure out why,
Okay.
what the problem is. Um,
Uh,
I've brought the Excel document up. I would assume you would
let
too.
me let me get my window capture up.
Um,
Give me a second.
this is the big thing I wanted to discuss. I actually want to see if I can fix it.
Okay.
Um,
Give me one
like
second, good sir.
the actually, do
Cool.
you have either like Excel or LibreOffice or something?
Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Okay. Right. There we go. Cool.
Wait to see it pop up.
Here we go. Can you see it on the stream?
But
46 minutes in.
I can. Yes.
Okay, cool.
So
Good.
okay, this is the one he's starting out with. Obviously, if you're looking at the recovered production cost of zero point 0.6, that's not great. But you know, a lot of these costs aren't all that justifiable. But if you go to the second tab with scenarios, you can actually see what he's estimating for Falcon 9
Mm-hmm.
versus, what he's estimating for Vulcan reuse. So scenarios would be
Yeah.
the second tab on the bottom.
Yeah, found it.
Sure. Okay. He is saying 0.4 or about 1.43 p for scenario 1, which would correspond to about 70% payload retention, whereas in
Okay.
his calculator he has only about 50% payload retention.
Yeah.
Um, and then a
Jesus.
K of say, so K would be the save or the fraction of recovered cost of 0.4,
What?
which is a very interesting number. And then the other three
Yeah.
are all the same. So
Yeah.
now what he's doing, and he admits this in the thread if you do want to check,
Mm-hmm.
and scroll down a bit.
We'll check later.
Yeah. He is incorporating fixed costs into the estimate. So that
Fixed
is
costs.
0.4 of all the costs involved in the launch, including fixed costs.
Which fixed
And
costs specifically? Because I can think, oh, there's somewhere that might be justifiable, but then there's somewhere, no, not really.
um my guess is it's like what yearly program costs would be split up between the number of launches being talked about, which he has stated this math is for 10 launches a year.
Ah!
Now,
The problem.
that is a problem, yes.
Yeah.
There's a second problem on top of this.
Oh, no.
Or a second problem that derives directly from that problem.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, of course, we're not talking about the, it's about 20 that Falcon 9 did in 2017 and 2018, or, eventually
Mm-hmm.
it's 30 and 40 and 60 and 90.
Oh, God, it's never gonna
Um,
stop.
but, okay, here's the thing. So I will quickly take the 1.43 and point 0.4 and plug them into the top end of the, or yeah, or 1.43 and plug them into the top end of the calculator, and you can show that, the math works out where it is really difficult to get it below
Yeah.
that price.
Yeah.
But here's what the problem is. He is doing a dollar or cost per kilogram basis or cost
Mm-hmm.
per kilogram analysis
Okay. Ugh.
based on the same number of launches of an expendable vehicle versus a reusable vehicle with less payload mass, using or including the fixed cost of launch operation in that year.
That seems like a bit of an oversight.
Yeah.
Because the fixed costs of
Okay. Let
launches.
me explain why. The
Does that.
reusable rocket is
Yeah.
lifting 30% less payload than
Mm-hmm.
the expendable rocket, but has the same fixed costs.
That's
Yeah. That
weird.
is what has happened.
Yeah.
So the issue is he's done a dollar per kilogram basis, but not normalized it on the same number of kilograms to orbit, but on the
Yeah.
same number of launches to orbit.
Of
So the
course it's
extra
gonna come out
capacity,
slower.
yeah,
Oh
so
my
the
god.
extra capacity of
Oh
the expendable
no.
launch system is
This-
allowing the fixed cost to be split between more kilograms to orbit.
Wait, again, this goes back to cost per kilogram being such a horrible metric. Because,
But
like, oh my
not only
god.
that, but you can this is accountable for. You just have to not compare the same number of launches.
Yeah, yeah. The problem is, there was this very annoying. Okay, so I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. Here's what he was saying was semi reasonable. So he was right on one thing, that people assumed that the number of launches in the market would not change for a very long time, and so therefore things were like quicker turnaround time, etc., were seen as pointless. However, what he's done here that's wrong is, he again, I'm going to say, this is assuming a fixed number of launches was fine because that is just how the launch market was viewed forever, because they didn't expect that when you actually are able to lower the cost, like, well, okay, no, they didn't expect that doing things in orbit was actually that profitable for anything other than comsats and um uh then like they didn't expect it to be anything more than comsats and spy satellites, because it is very hard to make that a thing. However, they didn't know. And so what I'm trying to say is, like SpaceX, they're right. If you're using the same amount of rocket, reuse should still win out though, because comparing things cost per kilogram is not correct. He is right. The number of launches is fixed, was thought to be fixed, because that's, again, that is how everybody thought of the number of launches. What he's not right about is using cost per kilogram. What they should have done, and this is why this is bad. This is not a proper analysis of ULA's backlog. What they should have done is they should have seen how many of these, if we launched with a reusable booster, would have taken more than that 70% hit, right? How many of these would take in more than that 70% hit and would have strapping on SRBs cost more than the booster that we got back? That would be the proper way to analyze this. The way that he did it is very wrong. Cost per kilogram is a dangerous method to focus on.
Yeah, and if you are using cost per kilogram, you have to add additional reusable launches to get the same number of kilograms. If you're going to make the fixed cost argument. If you're not going to make the fixed cost argument, then it makes sense. And I will give credit, this was pointed out on the thread back in 2025. Or not 2025, 2015 by Chris Wilson, 68. So
credit to Chris Wilson, 68.
There, that was what I'm like, okay, yeah, that's the fundamental flaw.
Yeah.
So I actually wanted to see, is keeping with the dollar per kilogram analysis, if I can fix this.
Cool.
Should I do it on this? Should I do it in Google Sheets? I'm unsure.
Do it in Google Sheets. Do it in Google Sheets, because this doesn't share.
Yeah. The problem I see is he is using a log ratio on one portion of this. Trying to figure out if this will copy or not.
Yeah. You could just upload it directly to Google Sheets.
Oh,
that might work.
Does it copy? It doesn't keep the formulas. Can you upload it directly? Hold on.
I think you can.
I do have it saved, so let me try that. I do this. Let's say I do a blink. So I was able to copy it, but I wasn't able to copy it in a way that fundamentally matters. That's not how it's done. File import upload import data. Oh, I think I can. Open now.
Let's go.
Does this work? Yes, it works. Oh, it
awesome.
Works. Okay.
Cool. Send that to me.
There you go.
Cool. Okay. Grab this.
I think I had it on view. I didn't have it on edit, so I'm going to do anyone with the link can edit. You can edit.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, I want to see if I can fix this live, but I'm gonna have to investigate this a little bit more heavily first.
Okay.
Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna duplicate the calculator.
There we go.
Proper calculator. Okay, so the rate curve I'm not gonna mess with at all. Rate curve for recovered HW production cost with each doubling of rate. Yeah, I'm not gonna mess with that. It is using a log scale. I'm just having to find out what that is doing specifically.
Oh.
Reuse index is how far behind it is. Actually, hold on. There was something else I wanted to do here, like more holes I wanted to poke before trying to fix this.
Yeah.
There are one of the things which has annoyed me a little bit in the reusable versus expendable debate. There are probably costs being treated as fixed costs that aren't.
Yeah. Agreed.
Or I guess you could argue technically are, but really hypothetically aren't. Or at the very least, if we are already making these sorts of flaws in terms of dollars per kilogram,
Yeah.
that treating these costs, you know, treating these as not, or treating the costs I'm mentioning as, yeah, as what, or treating the costs I'm mentioning as non-fixed costs would be about the same level of measuring efficiency as treating stuff like dollars per kilogram. So if you're wanting to do it properly, I don't think you'd make this argument, but we're
Yeah.
already at the point where we're doing this a little improperly to try to figure out efficiency, and if we're measuring it just a little bit improperly, it
Yeah.
starts making more sense. And I'm going to be sending some images on this one.
Yep.
So this is factory size, or
Okay.
more specifically, factory operation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so one thing is, and this is going to apply a little bit more to SpaceX than it would to, say, ULA. Maybe this argument works with like Delta 4,
Yeah.
maybe Delta 2, but it won't really work with like Atlas 5 or Vulcan. Um, is okay. So let's say a company has some factory.
Oh, thank you for pointing out the audio echoing. Appreciate that.
On his end or my end? Probably on his. Yeah, I don't think his audio is coming
On
from mine.
whose end?
Yeah. Is this a problem with my mic when he talks, or is this a problem with his mic when I talk?
Yeah. Or are we just good now and did it magically fix itself?
Probably has not, but oh well.
Let's see. Can you say something again?
Yeah, of course. Um,
The guest mic. Okay, your mic is apparently echoing pretty hard.
God, what is wrong with this fucking? Uh,
Let me see if I can just switch your input capture
okay,
over.
hold on. Let me try.
Hold on. There we go.
What? Is this working at all? No.
Hold on.
Is
Give
it
me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I think I might know what's up. Uh, Hold on. Here, and then instead of there, I'm going to put it. There we go.
Look, Perigi, this headset has a problem with like repeating computer audio.
Okay. Okay, it seems to be fixed now. Okay, it was only when you were speaking loudly before.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Back on track.
The weird thing is it has like two channels
Mhm.
or two voice channels, and then I pick one for Discord.
That's
And it's
fun.
either voice or game,
Mm-hmm.
but it seems like whichever one I pick winds up being the wrong channel after some time.
Oh God.
So it seems like just I have to randomly switch it. I
Fun.
don't get it. I
How
do not get
fun.
why. Maybe there's a button I press or
Okay.
buttons I press in the
Audio
headset.
levels are a little slow. Oh God. All the funny people. All the funny people are
Audio
watching
is
you right now.
awful.
Okay.
Audio is awful.
Audio's awful. God curse the audio and curse me for having to deal with it. Okay. Let's go.
Get the live stream open. Yeah, it's just. I think it's probably not on my end. I do have the live stream open, but not like playing any sound. So I think it
Mm-hmm.
was just Perigi echoing through.
Probably.
God damn it! I'm a little annoyed at that.
Yeah, it'll be fine. All right, come on. Let's go.
Stupid headset. Okay, so let's say that hypothetically, you have a factory and you are capable of producing, say, three expendable rockets side by side in it.
Mm-hmm.
And now, instead of that, we decide with the factory to produce have a line of reusable rockets and fairings, and you know, let's just say that occupies the slot for one rocket, and we're going to fly it a bunch. So
Yeah.
the rest of the factory becomes second stage production.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I wonder how much of the current SpaceX cost is dedicated to producing the second stage. There's a lot of it.
so
um.
my prediction is that per like first stage booster, maybe if you're counting the fairings, you're probably getting about 3 to 4 second stages in there. Maybe like volume
Mhm.
wise, I think it's probably an equivalent of about 2.5.
Yeah. Sure.
Um, but if we assume that you're able to get a second stage out more quickly than you're able to get a first stage out, or factoring engine costs and such and fairings, suddenly you're looking at 3 to 4 in
Hmm.
the same amount of time. So I'm sending these images over. I
Yeah.
cobbled them together in Kerbal very quickly.
Okay.
Um, if you want to share them on screen to just kind of
Here we
show
go.
what I'm
Oh
talking
my
about.
God, this is jank. It's so beautiful.
It's so jank, yes.
Okay. Here we go.
Um, This is like legitimately taken from my Kerbal campaign, by the way.
Oh
So
my God.
I only have limited access to parts, which is how I janked this together.
Ah, beautiful. Oh my God. Okay.
Um,
Okay.
so yeah, so that would expendable. I see that's on screen. Then you
Mhm.
can go through the ones where it's like, oh, let's produce some second stages instead of making multiple rockets and just make one of these, one of these a reusable vehicle.
Yep. Here we go. Here's this. This
So
is.
then I have
Yep.
the estimate for if you're doing about 3, and then the estimate for if you're doing, 4 per
Yeah.
booster. And I guess, you could visualize a 2.5. Just
Hmm.
remove one of the second stages from this.
Yes. You
Um,
you guys get the point.
yeah. Um, and suddenly, this is doing basically in the space of where what you'd be getting 3 launches normally, you are actually getting, 8 to 12 launches,
Hmm.
which, um, let me just send not that one, this one and this one across. So
Okay.
that is the sort of factory. So those are the sorts of factory spaces. If you're going to show them,
Yes. Here we go.
if you want to be able to build enough expendable rockets to keep up with the reusable launch rate from the same factory space.
Yep.
Um, so what I am trying to say is that a certain portion of your factory size is in effect not fixed costs here.
Hmm.
Um,
Exactly. That's a
that
really good point. That is the kind of spitter autism I love. God, beautiful. Uh, yeah. So,
I guess hypothetically you could remove like one rocket from one of those. I think that's 9 and 12, or
yeah.
9 and 12 should be the two examples I have.
Hmm.
And I could see an argument for 8, but
Yeah.
yeah, you're getting 8 to 12 launches for the same space as you get 3.
Hmm.
Um, so I guess if you're at a low enough flight rate, like if you're at that 10 flights,
Yeah.
if you're at that 10 flight rate, it doesn't matter that much. But if you're increasing that flight rate, which I mean you kind of have to do to make the kilograms work out, and you
Hmm.
increase it even more, um, or if we were talking about extending this out to infinity, just assuming near infinite launches, which
Yeah.
would take better. Um, the reusable rocket, just due to this factory issue, winds up pretty far ahead.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um,
By
just
nature, somewhat.
yeah. So, and also one of the other things with the reuse calculations is fairing recovery is not factored in initially.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Too.
I think that's slightly justifiable just because, like,
Yeah.
it wasn't announced right yet, right?
Right. It was not announced at that time, but that is one thing to take into consideration. Oh, I just made recovered production cost 0.46 to account for the fairing.
Mhm.
And a performance ratio of 70%, and suddenly they're break even at 6 flights.
There you
Break
go.
10.
Huh.
So by that knowledge, the whole fairing thing, and that's again without adjusting for the difference in dollar per kilogram.
Hmm.
Um, all right, so I actually do want to go to this and try to work out how the math is working out. So
Okay.
you got the F, which is the whole log factor. I'm
Hmm.
fine with that. Reuse ratio, so it's just grabbing
Hmm.
that figure. Refurb ratio, it's grabbing that figure. B, it's okay. Is it B I want to work with? So it is 1 minus this. Oh, is it absolute value? No, hold on. No,
Probably.
no, that's not absolute value. I'm being stupid.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it's doing 1 minus recovered production cost over the recovered production cost. Is that correct? I want to just quickly math this out just to make sure. That's what it's doing. So 1 minus 0.446 um divided by 0.46.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's right. No, that's exactly right. That's
Hmm.
exactly the that would be um would be expected.
Yeah.
So then we get to the reuse or the reuse index, and this is number of uses versus an expendable.
Yeah.
And it's the reuse index where I have questions. And I'm gonna move the graph over to the side where I think this formula is what's not working. Um,
Okay.
but I I could fix it. What I might do is I might on the side here put something else. Actually,
Hmm.
yeah. Oh, actually, I'm curious on how B works. Hold on. I can look up the
All
methodology.
good, dude. We got all the time in the world.
No, I am just absolutely making sure. So B, and then I'm going into the reuse business case explanation because I do have that downloaded too. Um, okay, so mm, some of this is a little confusing. I'm not completely happy with the way he set this up for my own personal understanding of how the equations are working, but
Yeah.
it's always difficult looking at someone else's work in math.
Yep.
um,
Yep.
not the most fun thing to do.
Is that like,
Um,
are you going into statistics or some field like that?
I
Or
wish I should.
what are you going into?
Don't ask.
Oh, God.
I like
You really should consider,
math.
you really should consider going into like a math or stats major, dude. You've got the brain for it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, let me put it this way. There's a reason I'm like not disputing you know, the F column here, the one with the logs in it. I'm just like, yeah, I'll just let that be. Like that is where my understanding of math ended. Well, once I got to logarithms, it's like, oh
nope,
god,
that's it.
that did not click.
Recalc
Calculus
dropout.
sucks.
Real. Okay.
Um, and then of course, basically, I haven't really gone into anything. I took a break year from after high school to
W.
yeah, I took a break year after high school to avoid going into college, and that quickly became 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then the pandemic hit.
Ah, Jesus. Real.
And now I don't have the energy. I
God.
probably should get it back, but like I'm trying to consider where to go and what to do. Uh,
Tell Everett chat spam no name. Tell no name to go back to college or something. Peer pressure.
I should go to it first time.
Oh
Um,
God, yeah.
I've thought about like doing something creative or trying something from home as well. It's like I'm unsure.
Oh, real.
but statistics might be a good place for me to go. The more I think
It
about it,
actually, you got the practical experience. It was motivated by a dumbass on the internet. However, you got the
yeah,
experience.
that's fair. Okay, so performance ratio I think is normally the backwards way I would do it. So if I
Hmm.
divide 1 by 1.43, that would be about 70%.
Yes.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is perf ratio inverse. Let's do this. So this is just for my understanding.
Hmm.
Equals, well, it's not even a back to college. It would be go to it in the first place. Equals 1 divided by this.
Hmm.
Um, let's shift that decimal place over
Mm,
and extend it down.
yeah.
Um, so this is just to have, this is how I'm used to seeing it, rather than the other way around.
Hmm.
I'm wanting to have that there,
Yeah.
so I can more easily factor that into the equation. Okay, so what is the calculation for the reuse index? I want to see where it's using or what it's taking from. Okay, so it's taking. Actually, hold on. No, 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 don't add a number there. Don't add another thing there. Um. Okay, so its proper calculator. Let me write this down. Let me write this down. Okay, so this would be, let's say, P. It's P.
There we go. Here, chat. This is a better view. Okay.
It's gotta be times, right? So it's P times K times. Okay, so one one over. Sure. So B15. B15 is N.
Hmm.
So 1 over N times. Already the fact that basically now way past return on investment in Falcon 9 is actually the mission load cost base they actually like plus 30% the Yoshi cost is infuriating. Shitification in space. I wouldn't say it's in shitification. They kind of just kept the cost the same and went up a bit with inflation.
The fact that yeah.
Um,
God,
but yeah,
like it would be in shitification if there was an actual like competitor, because there isn't a competitor, and it's so annoying.
so C, so that's C plus D.
Literally, it just takes one competent launch company with another RLV. It would just take one.
Okay. Okay, so that I can better understand this, I'm going to define the reuse ratio and the refurb ratio.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say RR. Oh, wait, no, hold on. That doesn't work. That could be either. Um, I'll call it RE.
Eliminate competitors is one of the
And
steps to enshittification. God, true, dude. Jeez.
I mean, to be fair, it sounds like it's more the competitor's fault
Yeah,
in this.
yeah, that's true. If they wanted to eliminate the competitors, they'd actually just SpaceX would just go for it. They'd get rid of everything.
Actually,
They wanted to, dude. I imagine they would be able to hit below $1,000 a kilogram if they really wanted to, but they're focused on Starship more.
you might be close. If they get a reusable second stage, they would definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. Then that is plus plus E.
RER. This one's RER. This one is F plus that.
Mm-hmm.
Plus RPR plus an F15 B B. And I believe that is the equation we're looking at.
Okay.
Actually, let me take this and just move it somewhere else. Actually, I'm gonna add an additional factor in
Mm-hmm.
here.
Yeah.
Well, there are a couple additional factors I could add. So we need to do base flight count,
Mm-hmm.
and we need to also factor in how much is fixed costs in the recovered production costs, or K, which
Mm-hmm.
is going to unfortunately break some things here.
Yeah.
But being able to understand the equation right here is going to make it a little bit easier to do. The perf ratio inverse, actually, I'll keep that there for now, but I might get rid of that the more I think about it.
Mm-hmm.
This is just kind of going through the process of how I do this,
Yep.
stuff. I'm wanting to show this fighter skill. Should be very much looking forward to the next few years. Yeah. I'm hyped for Neutron. I'm actually hyped for Neutron.
We are opposites, I see. Just kidding. I like Neutron. I like Neutron more now than I have in the
You're more
past.
hyped for New Glenn, right?
Sure, yeah. Yeah. I'm more eh, God.
New
I
Glenn? Which new one would you be most hyped for, actually?
Terranar.
Okay. You're Terranar.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting.
The problem with Terranar is just late. Late.
Part of it is that's a company which hasn't yet made orbit. I mean, so
Yeah.
same with same with Blue Origin too.
I
Blue
file I
Origin,
file relativity. I file relativity. The reason I like relativity is this is a long philosophy revelation I had. It's that there are two different very different styles in the launch market right now. There are either launch companies and there are companies that are doing things in space. And Rocket Lab toes the line of we are a launch company versus we are a company that does things in space. You can see that Rocket Lab Space Systems division is taking off. The problem is that it isn't like as directly tied into launch as it could be because like we all know like they're making photons for Varda. We all know that. I think all the upcoming launches are still going to be on like photon style ones cuz that's just a cheap and available bus, I think. The thing is I don't know how deeply you can tie that into increasing Neutron's launch cadence because Starlink was like bang 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 because like you had to get hundreds of those things, thousands of them into orbit, and the same motivation to get thousands of things into orbit doesn't exist for Neutron. And also Neutron is I hate to be this guy, but I think SpaceX proved that, well, obviously we're gonna have to wait for Starship, but I've heard numbers that are like currently it's $100 million per Starship stack. I don't think size is the primary contributor to cost, and the fact that Neutron is only at like 8 tons RTLS is, while yes, it works in the current market, you're leaving yourself open to the absolute sideswipe that what if the next market says, okay, we can build bigger dumb satellites now? What if that's the next revolution? That's a problem. Relativity can lift. Yeah,
Neutron's kind of like, let's optimize Falcon 9 a little more.
yeah. I think Terran R is also very let's optimize Falcon 9 a little more, but in some ways that they should have fought harder to get. They should have gone bigger and they should have gone RTLS is what they should have done. Well,
I don't think that they should have gone RTLS. I think whatever honestly, what's needed right now is reusable second stages.
I disagree hard because Falcon 9, the thing is, there's only so much difference remaining in cost, and I don't know if like 10-15 million dollars in cost is going to massively sway launch contracts. And the thing is, because I think the first stage has been easily the most costly part in forever, and I think staying with it is the important part. Relativity was absolutely right to ditch second stage reuse for now, and the important part I think is for now, because Relativity needs to get back to second stage reuse eventually.
Yeah,
But
that is something.
for now,
The reason I kind of like Neutron is because it has the more expendable, well,
yeah.
cheaper to produce second stage. I think Neutron is trying to optimize like that Falcon 9 formula,
Mm-hmm.
but it does come at the cost that they really can't get a reusable second stage.
Yeah.
Um,
Hold on. Wait, 100 million per stack is only materials and work or compounded cost? I have no clue. Because they have to be past SLS's budget compounded costs for Starship's development. Do you mean single SLS or like total SLS development? Because
I don't think I'm not sure that's true in either case, but I think it would be a lot closer if it's
yeah,
single SLS.
yes, yes.
Um, like I don't think that's true, but I think it would be close.
Mm-hmm.
Which I mean, given that like SLS is hilariously expensive, that's not great yet.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm adding two more things. Percentage of production cost is fixed at 10 flights, and the number of flights. Um, so let's say, okay, so he was originally estimating that point 0.8, or not point 0.8, point 0.4 of the recovered production cost is in that first stage. So how much of the rest? So it's probably about 0.2 for the rest of the Falcon 9.
Yeah. There's no way that a single starship compounded costs less than one SLS compounded. Wholly disagree. Whole program cost has been around like 5 billion max from what I've heard is what it was expected to be at the end of this year. I There have been too many starship. Yeah, there
SLS
have
is
been
like 25 billion, right?
yeah, there have
They're
been
all
way
coming
too
in
many.
approaching 25 billion
Yeah,
right now.
total like 4.1 billion. I see that. However, for one starship stack, no. There is an incredible. The thing is, I'm sure SLS is built to be expensive.
Yeah,
It
even
is
if
that is intentional. The
yeah,
expense is intentional. That is a part of it. And it's also, by the way, it's also built to be simplified so that if Congress finally decides, oh, let's actually fund the space program for being a space program, it can whittle itself down to that like $500 million launch number and be okay, actually. That's what it is designed to do.
okay, so percentage of production cost is fixed at 10 flights. I'm trying to figure that out. So the estimated cost at point 0.4, are we going, so second stage and fairings, how much are we thinking that they cost? Like 0.15? Okay, if it's point 0.4, no, how much of a Falcon 9 would those cost, do you think? Combined, fairings and second stage,
Uh,
percentage wise.
Percentage wise, I think. Hold on, let me get my calculator up. 20% would be the fairings.
Okay, that's probably about right.
Um, and 50% of it would be the second stage.
Okay,
That is assuming that the booster is freshly built.
assuming that the boost 50% second stage?
No, actually, let me see.
No way, no
Cuz
way, no way.
no, not 50%, sorry. It would I'm not sure how to square some numbers I have rattling around in my head. Here, let's say for a new built one, I'll just use the $50 million price. Let me redo some math. Uh, let's see. Uh, Okay. 12% for fairings. 28% for second stage.
So the first stage is about 60% of the cost.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so then this is estimating. Okay. Okay, so I think I do 0.6 times 0.4. Oh, wait, no. 0.4 times 0.4? Right?
Just so you know, I have to go in 6 minutes.
Okay, 0.56. Yeah, I was a little bit worried that I wasn't going to be able to get this whole graph done.
Sorry.
Yeah.
If you
I'm
want
trying
to, if you want to write about it on Twitter, I'll retweet the thread and do some promo for it.
um I'm trying to get this right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm trying to figure out how to actually estimate. Okay, no, percentage of production cost is fixed at 10 flights. Okay, so we're estimating booster itself is 0.6 of the total cost of everything. But on here, it's 0.4, so do I multiply?
Mm-hmm.
Multiply those two together.
Yep.
6 times.
Ooh.
Oh god. Okay, so booster's 60%, but on here it's estimated to be 40%.
40%.
So then we have an extra
Jesus.
40%. Oh god. Okay, brain, please work. We have an extra 40%. So I have to take 40% of 40% and then add it to 40%.
Yep.
And then subtract that from 1. Is that right? Amazing live thinking. Yeah, no problem. Think Perigee too, so obviously. So is it?
It,
Are we talking about 40? No, that doesn't. Does that make sense? Would make sense. 0.44 would be production. That seems wrong. That seems wrong to me. I'm not sure that's correct. Um,
uh,
I'm not sure that's correct. 0. Okay, so it's what? If we're estimating 40% of it.
thank you. Yes.
Don't.
Thank you for the compliment on the live. Next time I will hopefully be able to film some scenes for the Bellic maneuver. God, that.
Yeah, I might just try to do this in my own time.
All right.
Try to
Cool.
working.
Cool.
I'm just trying to decipher this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know. God.
Thank you everyone for watching. When I get this done, we should probably do like another short one.
We
On
should. We should.
playing with the numbers a little
It
bit.
is. Streaming is actually relaxing.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Thank you,
So
chat.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for hanging out.
Yeah. We will have more for you next time.
Yeah. I guess you can incorporate this into the if you're gonna do like a highlight supercut of all the streams, you can cut this one into.
Hell yeah. Hell
But
yeah.
yeah. All right.
Awesome. Thank you, chat. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Boom.